There are battles in your life that no human being can fight for you. There are moments when the weight on your heart becomes so heavy that even smiling feels like work. There are nights when your mind refuses to rest. There are silent fears you never speak aloud, and there are wounds so deep that nobody around you even notices them. But listen carefully to me now. I have not abandoned you. Before this day began, I already knew every burden you would carry. Before the tears formed in your eyes, I already understood the pain hidden behind them. Before fear tried to enter your thoughts, my hand was already stretched over your life. And today, I am calling you back into peace. Do not rush away from this moment. Stay until the end, because what I am about to speak over your heart is not ordinary encouragement. These words are meant to rebuild what fear tried to destroy inside you. They are meant to restore strength where exhaustion has lived for too long. And they are meant to remind you that you are not fighting alone. I see the pressure you have been carrying. I see the responsibilities that have drained your energy. I see the silent disappointments you tried to hide from everyone else. I see how many times you encouraged other people while secretly feeling empty yourself. But even in your weakness, I have been holding you together. You thought you were barely surviving, but it was my mercy carrying you through every difficult hour. Listen to my voice carefully now. Stop believing the lie that your life will always remain this heavy. Stop believing the lie that peace is for other people, but not for you. Stop believing the lie that your future is trapped by your past. I am greater than your fear. I am greater than your mistakes. I am greater than every storm standing in front of you. Nothing in your life is beyond my power to restore. When anxiety rises in your mind, call on me. When fear surrounds your thoughts, call on me. When you feel weak and uncertain, do not isolate yourself in silence. Bring your heart into my presence, because I still heal, I still restore, and I still make impossible situations turn around. My child, you do not have to carry tomorrow before it arrives. Many of your struggles were created because you tried to solve everything alone. You tried to predict every outcome. You tried to control every situation. But peace does not come from control. Peace comes from trusting me, even when you cannot see the entire path ahead. I never asked you to carry the world on your shoulders. I asked you to walk with me one step at a time. There are doors I am opening for your future that fear cannot stop. There are blessings already moving toward your life that doubt cannot cancel. There are prayers you whispered in secret that I have not ignored. Even now, while you are listening to these words, I am working behind situations you cannot yet see. This season will not destroy you. It will strengthen you. The pain you survived did not come to finish your story. It came to teach you dependence on me. The betrayal did not destroy your purpose. The delay did not cancel your destiny. And the tears you cried in private were never wasted, because I was collecting every single one of them. I know there were moments when you almost gave up. Moments when you wondered if things would ever change. Moments when your faith became tired. But look at yourself now. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still listening. And that means my purpose for your life is not finished. Do not measure your future by your current emotions. Feelings change, but my promises remain steady. Even when your heart feels uncertain, I remain faithful. Even when people disappoint you, I remain constant. Even when the world around you feels unstable, my power has not weakened. So breathe again. Release the fear you have been holding inside your chest. Release the constant pressure to have every answer immediately. Release the belief that you must fix everything alone. I am asking you to trust me more deeply than before. Because where trust grows, peace begins to enter. And where peace enters, fear begins to lose its power. I know some nights have felt lonely for you. I know there were times when you cried quietly so nobody else would hear you. But I was there in every silent moment. I was there when your heart broke. I was there when confusion filled your mind. And I was there when you felt too exhausted to even pray. You were never abandoned. I want you to stop speaking defeat over your life. Stop declaring hopelessness over your future. Stop feeding your mind with fear every day. Your words carry power, and your heart becomes shaped by what you repeat constantly. Begin speaking life again. Begin declaring peace again. Begin expecting goodness again, because I am still writing your story. This current chapter is not the ending. There is healing coming to your heart. There is restoration coming to your home. There is clarity coming to your confused thoughts. And there is peace coming to the areas of your life that have felt restless for too long. Hold on a little longer. The breakthrough you prayed for is closer than you realize. And while you wait, remain close to me. Do not allow distractions to pull you away from my presence. Spend time with me daily. Speak with me honestly. Let your heart rest in my promises instead of drowning in fear. You do not need to perform for my love. You do not need perfect words for me to hear you. Come honestly. Come tired. Come uncertain if you must. But come near to me, because I am still your refuge. If these words are speaking directly to your spirit right now, type, "I trust you, Lord," in the comments as an act of faith. And stay until the end of this message, because what I will speak over your life next will help you walk through fear with strength, wisdom, and peace. If these words brought comfort to your heart, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with someone who needs encouragement today. And if you feel happy and strengthened by this ministry, you can support this work through the link below so more people can continue receiving hope, peace, and daily spiritual encouragement. Remember this before you leave today: I am still with you. I am still protecting you. I am still guiding you. And no darkness standing against your life is greater than my power to carry you through. There are moments when the noise around you becomes so loud that you can no longer hear peace inside your own heart. Fear speaks, worry speaks, pressure speaks, and slowly, without realizing it, your soul becomes exhausted from carrying thoughts that were never meant to control your life. But listen to me carefully now. I did not create you to live imprisoned by fear. I created you to walk in peace, strength, wisdom, and confidence through my presence. Yet many times you allow anxiety to sit where faith should remain. You allow fear to grow where trust should be planted. And you allow temporary situations to convince you that your future is hopeless. But I am speaking over your life today. Your situation is not greater than my power. Stay with me until the end of this message, because what I am about to place into your spirit will help you fight the battles happening inside your mind. And the battles inside your mind matter more than you realize, because many people are defeated internally long before problems appear externally. I see how tired your thoughts have become. I see the overthinking. I see the constant pressure you place upon yourself. I see how often you replay painful memories, fearful possibilities, and negative expectations. But peace cannot grow in a heart constantly feeding itself fear. That is why I am calling you higher. Stop meditating on everything that could go wrong. Start remembering everything I have already brought you through. You survived moments you thought would break you completely. You made it through nights you believed would never end. There were seasons when you felt weak, confused, and emotionally drained, yet my hand still carried you forward. And the same God who protected you before is still standing beside you now. Do not allow fear to rewrite your identity. You are not weak simply because you feel tired. You are not forgotten simply because answers have not arrived yet. You are not abandoned simply because the process has become uncomfortable. Some of the greatest growth inside your life is happening in seasons where you cannot yet understand what I am building. I am preparing your spirit for greater strength. I am teaching you dependence instead of control, because many times your greatest stress came from trying to carry responsibilities that belong to me. You keep trying to control outcomes. You keep trying to predict tomorrow. You keep trying to force certainty into situations where faith is required. But peace begins when you finally release the need to control everything yourself. Trust me with what you cannot solve. Trust me with what you cannot understand. Trust me with a future you cannot yet see. I know there are questions in your heart right now. Questions about your future. Questions about relationships. Questions about finances. Questions about purpose. Questions about whether things will truly improve. But I'm asking you not to build your life on fear while waiting for answers. Build your life on faith in my character. Because even when circumstances change, my faithfulness does not. Many people only seek me during emergencies. They pray only when panic rises. They remember me only when fear becomes overwhelming. But I want deeper relationship with you than emergency conversations. I want daily closeness. I want you to walk with me during ordinary moments, not only desperate moments. Bring your mornings to me. Bring your thoughts to me. Bring your worries to me before anxiety grows stronger inside your mind. Because what you repeatedly carry alone eventually becomes heavier than you were meant to bear. I never designed your soul to survive, separated from my peace. That is why you must guard what enters your mind carefully. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your focus. Not every fearful thought deserves agreement. Some thoughts must be rejected immediately because they were sent to weaken your faith and steal your peace. Stop partnering with negativity every day. Stop speaking defeat over your own future. Stop expecting disaster before anything has even happened. Your words shape your atmosphere more than you realize. Speak hope again. Speak peace again. Speak life again. There is power in what you continually declare. My child, you do not need to panic about timing. What I have planned for your life will arrive at the right moment. Delay is not always denial. Sometimes I am protecting you while preparing you at the same time. Sometimes the waiting season is building wisdom inside you that success alone could never produce. So do not become bitter during the process. Remain teachable. Remain prayerful. Remain hopeful. Because hopelessness blinds people from recognizing the blessings already surrounding them. Look again at your life. You still have breath. You still have purpose. You still have opportunity to rise again. You still have my presence walking beside you even now. And if I have carried you this far, I will not abandon you in the middle of the journey. Some doors closed because they were not meant to destroy you, but protect you. Some relationships ended because I saw what you could not see. Some disappointments became necessary because they redirected you toward a better future. Stop grieving forever over places I intentionally removed you from. There are new beginnings waiting ahead. There is healing waiting ahead. There is peace waiting ahead. But you must stop staring constantly at what no longer belongs in your future. I know healing takes time. I know trust can feel difficult after disappointment. I know exhaustion sometimes makes your faith feel weak. But weak faith placed in my hands is still stronger than fear controlling your life. Do not quit now. You are closer to restoration than you realize. And while you continue moving forward, stay rooted in prayer. Stay rooted in truth. Stay rooted in my promises instead of temporary emotions. Feelings will rise and fall, but my word remains stable through every season. When your heart becomes overwhelmed, slow down and remember this. You are not carrying life alone. I am walking beside you. I am protecting what concerns you. I am opening doors at the proper time. And I am already standing inside the future you are afraid of. If you believe, I am still working in your life. Type "My future is in God's hands" in the comments as a declaration of faith. And remain until the end of this journey. Because the next message will help you break free from hidden fear, emotional heaviness, and the discouragement that has quietly tried to settle over your heart. There are hidden burdens inside your heart that you have carried for so long that they now feel normal to you. Pain became normal, stress became normal, fear became normal, and disappointment slowly became part of your daily thinking. But listen carefully to my voice today. I never created you to live constantly, weighed down by emotional heaviness. I created your heart to carry peace. I created your spirit to walk in freedom. And I created your life to reflect hope instead of constant fear. But many times you continue holding things that I already asked you to release into my hands. Stay with me until the end, because this message is not only meant to comfort you, it is meant to help break the emotional chains that have quietly been draining your strength for too long. I see the exhaustion nobody else notices. I see how often you smile while secretly struggling inside. I see the emotional pressure you keep hiding from people around you. And I see how deeply certain disappointments affected your heart, even when you pretended they did not matter. But I want you to understand something today. Healing begins when honesty enters your heart. Stop pretending you are unaffected by everything you survived. Stop acting as though certain wounds never hurt you. Stop burying emotions so deeply that they slowly poison your peace from within. I did not ask you to deny your pain. I asked you to bring your pain into my presence so I could begin restoring what life damaged inside you. Many people carry invisible fear every single day. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of losing what they love, fear of the future, fear of not being enough. And over time, fear begins controlling decisions, relationships, emotions, and even faith itself. But fear was never meant to become the voice leading your life. My voice must become louder than fear again. Because when fear controls your thinking, peace disappears. When fear controls your thinking, joy becomes difficult. When fear controls your thinking, even small problems begin feeling impossible to overcome. That is why you must stop feeding fear constantly. Every day you replay negative thoughts. You strengthen anxiety. Every day you expect disaster. You weaken your confidence. Every day you speak hopelessness over your future. You create emotional heaviness inside your spirit. But today, I am calling you to break agreement with fear. Your future is not doomed. Your life is not forgotten. And your story is not over. There is still purpose attached to your existence. There is still goodness ahead of you. There is still restoration that can enter the broken areas of your life. I know some experiences made you guarded. Betrayal changed you. Disappointment changed you. Painful words changed you. And now sometimes you struggle to trust fully again. But do not allow past wounds to permanently close your heart. Not everyone who enters your future will carry the same intentions as people from your past. Healing requires courage. Trust requires courage. Moving forward requires courage. And I will help you rebuild what fear tried to destroy. My child, stop punishing yourself for mistakes I already forgave. There are moments when you continue replaying old failures, even after I already extended mercy toward you. You keep condemning yourself while I keep calling you forward into growth. Yes, you made mistakes. Yes, there were moments you fell short. But your failures are not stronger than my grace. Do not build your identity around your worst moments. Build your identity around my love for you. Because my mercy is greater than your guilt, and my power to restore is greater than your past, I want you to stop carrying shame into every new season. Shame keeps people trapped emotionally. Shame convinces people they are unworthy of joy. Shame convinces people they must remain prisoners of their history forever. But I came to bring freedom, not endless condemnation. Release the shame. Release the bitterness. Release the anger that has quietly lived inside your heart for too long. Because bitterness cannot heal you. Resentment cannot restore you. Only surrender brings true peace. There are people who hurt you and never apologized. There are moments you still do not fully understand. There are prayers that seemed unanswered, but even in confusion, I was still working behind the scenes of your life. Some things will make sense later. Some things may not fully make sense on this side of eternity, but you must learn to trust me even when understanding feels incomplete. Do not allow confusion to separate you from faith. Continue walking with me even when emotions fluctuate. Continue praying even when answers feel delayed. Continue believing even when circumstances appear uncertain. because breakthrough often begins quietly before it becomes visible. I know you are tired sometimes, tired emotionally, tired mentally, tired spiritually, but exhaustion is not proof that you are failing. Sometimes exhaustion simply means you have been fighting battles for too long without resting properly in my presence. You need spiritual rest again. Not only physical rest, your soul needs quiet moments with me. Your heart needs space away from constant negativity. Your mind needs freedom from endless pressure and comparison. That is why you must stop measuring your worth against other people's lives. Their journey is not your assignment. Their timing is not your timing. And their blessings do not cancel the plans I still have prepared for you. Comparison steals gratitude. Comparison steals peace. Comparison blinds people from recognizing the beautiful things already growing within their own lives. Look again carefully. You have survived more than you realize. You have grown more than you realize. And you are stronger now than the version of yourself who almost gave up before. Do not despise small progress. Healing happens step by step. Peace grows step by step. Restoration comes step by step. And every time you choose faith over fear, strength begins growing inside you again. I am not finished restoring your life. I am not finished rebuilding your confidence. And I am not finished healing the hidden places inside your heart. So breathe deeply again. Release the emotional weight you were never meant to carry forever. Release the constant fear that everything will collapse. Release the belief that your future cannot improve. Because where my presence enters, hopelessness loses power. If these words are reaching your heart today, type, "I release my fear to God," in the comments as a declaration of faith, and remain until the end of this journey, because the next message will help you overcome discouragement, rebuild your confidence, and walk forward with renewed strength and peace. There are seasons in your life when discouragement enters quietly. It does not always arrive through tragedy. Sometimes it enters through delay. Sometimes it enters through disappointment. Sometimes it enters after repeated stress, repeated battles, and repeated emotional exhaustion. And little by little, your confidence begins weakening until you no longer recognize the strong person you once were. But listen carefully to me now. You are not as defeated as fear wants you to believe. Stay with me until the end, because what I am about to speak over your spirit will help you rise out of discouragement, and remember that your strength does not come from circumstances. Your strength comes from my presence walking beside you. I know there were moments when you became tired of hoping, tired of waiting, tired of trying, and tired of carrying responsibilities that seemed endless. There were moments when disappointment made you question whether anything would truly improve. But I want you to understand something very clearly today. Delay does not mean abandonment. Silence does not mean absence. And difficulty does not mean I stopped working in your life. Many times I am doing my greatest work in places you cannot yet see. While you worry, I am preparing. While you wait, I am arranging. While you feel uncertain, I am already making paths where confusion once stood. Do not allow temporary discouragement to blind you from permanent promises. The enemy of your peace wants you exhausted emotionally, because exhausted people begin believing lies they would normally reject. When your heart becomes tired, fear feels louder. When your spirit becomes drained, hopelessness begins sounding believable. That is why you must protect your inner life carefully. Not every environment is healthy for your soul. Not every conversation deserves access to your spirit. And not every negative voice deserves agreement from your heart. Guard your peace. Guard your thoughts. Guard your relationship with me. Because your spiritual condition affects every area of your life more than you realize. Some people are physically alive, but emotionally collapsing inside because they have spent too much time feeding their fear instead of feeding their faith. What you repeatedly listen to eventually shapes your atmosphere. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, anxiety will grow. If you constantly rehearse painful memories, bitterness will grow. If you constantly expect failure, confidence will disappear. But if you begin filling your heart with truth, peace begins returning slowly. That is why I am speaking to you now. I want to rebuild what discouragement weakened inside you. I want to remind you that your life still carries purpose. I want to remind you that your story still matters. And I want to remind you that your future is not limited by your current emotions. My child, there is strength inside you that you have forgotten about. You survived painful seasons before. You endured moments you thought would completely destroy you. You carried burdens that once felt impossible. And yet here you are now, still standing, still breathing, still moving forward. That strength did not come from yourself alone. It came from my hand, sustaining you through every difficult moment. Stop speaking as though your future is already ruined. Stop declaring defeat before the battle is finished. Your current struggle is not the final chapter of your life. There are still blessings ahead of you that fear cannot cancel. There are still doors I can open suddenly. There are still opportunities I can create beyond your expectations. Do not underestimate what I can do in a single moment. I can restore confidence. I can rebuild peace. I can heal relationships. I can create opportunities where none existed before. And I can strengthen a weary heart faster than you imagined possible. But you must stop partnering with hopelessness. Hopelessness weakens vision. Hopelessness drains motivation. Hopelessness convinces people to surrender before breakthrough arrives. But I am asking you to hold on longer than your emotions want to. Because some miracles arrive after the moment people almost quit. I know there are dreams inside your heart that feel delayed. I know there are prayers you are still waiting to see answered. I know there are areas of your life where frustration has quietly grown. But frustration must not become your permanent mindset. Continue trusting me even during the process. Because growth often happens invisibly before it becomes visible externally. A tree develops roots before fruit appears. And in the same way, I am developing strength inside you before certain blessings fully arrive. Do not compare your timeline with everyone else around you. Comparison creates unnecessary discouragement. You see their victories, but not their hidden struggles. You see their success, but not the pain they endured privately. Focus on your own journey with me, instead of measuring yourself against other people constantly. Your assignment is different, your timing is different, and your purpose is different. I want you to begin speaking hope over your mornings again. When you wake up, stop immediately expecting stress. Stop immediately expecting failure. Begin thanking me for another opportunity to grow, learn, heal, and move forward. Gratitude changes the atmosphere of the heart more than you realize. A grateful heart remains softer. A grateful heart remains hopeful. And a grateful heart recognizes blessings that bitterness often ignores. You do not need to have everything figured out right now. You do not need every answer immediately. You do not need complete certainty before taking the next step of faith. Sometimes peace comes not from knowing everything, but from trusting the one who does know everything. And I know exactly where your life is heading. Nothing about your future surprises me. Nothing about your pain confuses me. And nothing about your current battle is greater than my ability to guide you through it. Even now, while you are listening to these words, I am strengthening areas inside you that discouragement tried to weaken. I am rebuilding confidence. I am restoring courage, and I am teaching you how to stand firm emotionally even when circumstances around you remain uncertain. So do not surrender to despair. Do not isolate yourself in hopeless thinking, and do not believe the lie that your best days are already behind you. There is still joy ahead. There is still peace ahead. There is still restoration ahead, and there is still purpose attached to your life. If these words are strengthening your spirit today, type "God is restoring my strength" in the comments as an act of faith, and stay until the end of this journey, because the next message will help you break free from anxiety, reclaim inner peace, and walk forward with renewed confidence, clarity, and spiritual strength. There are battles happening around you that human eyes cannot fully see. There are moments when heaviness enters a room without explanation. There are seasons when fear suddenly rises inside your thoughts without warning. There are times when confusion, tension, discouragement, and emotional exhaustion seem to surround your life all at once. But listen carefully to me now. The blood of Jesus still carries power. Stay with me until the end, because what I am about to speak over your heart is not empty motivation. These words carry spiritual truth, meant to strengthen your faith, restore your peace, and remind you that darkness does not have final authority over your life. Many people have forgotten the power of the blood of Jesus. They speak more about fear than faith. They speak more about problems than promises. They speak more about anxiety than authority. But today I am reminding you that the blood of Jesus was not shed without purpose. It was shed for victory. It was shed for cleansing. It was shed for healing. And it was shed so fear would not control your future. When darkness tries to enter your thoughts, remember the blood of Jesus. When guilt tries to condemn your heart, remember the blood of Jesus. When discouragement whispers that nothing will improve, remember the blood of Jesus. Because what my Son accomplished on the cross was greater than the fear trying to torment your mind today. The blood of Jesus still speaks peace over troubled hearts. The blood of Jesus still breaks chains of fear. The blood of Jesus still restores exhausted souls. And the blood of Jesus still covers those who place their trust in me. My child, stop believing that you must fight every spiritual battle alone. You have been trying to survive through your own strength for too long. You carry stress silently. You carry emotional pain privately. You carry fear while pretending everything is fine outwardly. But I never asked you to live disconnected from my presence. Bring your burdens to me. Bring your fears to me. Bring your hidden struggles into my light, because darkness loses power when exposed before me. Some of the heaviness you feel did not begin in one day. It accumulated slowly through worry, pressure, unforgiveness, negative thinking, and spiritual exhaustion. And over time, your heart became overwhelmed without even realizing how deeply drained you had become. But the blood of Jesus still cleanses what life tried to damage. I want you to stop speaking defeat over yourself. Stop saying nothing will ever change. Stop declaring hopelessness over your home, your future, your family, and your peace. Your words shape your atmosphere more than you understand. When you continually speak fear, fear grows stronger. When you continually speak despair, heaviness increases. But when faith begins speaking again, darkness begins losing ground. Declare peace again. Declare healing again. Declare restoration again. Because the blood of Jesus still carries authority over fear, confusion, anxiety, shame, and spiritual heaviness. I know there are nights when your thoughts become difficult to silence. I know there are moments when anxiety tries to steal rest from your mind. I know there are situations in your life that feel emotionally exhausting. But I do not want you living constantly overwhelmed by fear. I want your heart anchored in my peace. That peace does not come from perfect circumstances. It comes from trusting my authority even when life feels uncertain. The blood of Jesus is not weak against what you are facing. There is no darkness greater than my power. There is no burden beyond my ability to restore. There is no brokenness I cannot heal. And there is no fearful atmosphere that cannot change when my presence enters it. That is why you must remain close to me daily. Do not seek me only during emergencies. Do not remember prayer only when panic rises. Walk with me consistently. Speak with me honestly. Allow your heart to rest in my promises every day, because spiritual strength grows through relationship, not occasional desperation. I see the emotional battles hidden inside you. I see the silent worries about your future. I see the tension you carry about finances, relationships, health, and responsibilities. But fear is not your master. The blood of Jesus reminds you that victory already has a name. Even now, while you are listening to these words, peace is beginning to rise where heaviness tried to settle. Strength is beginning to rise where discouragement tried to weaken you. Clarity is beginning to rise where confusion tried to cloud your mind. Because my presence changes atmospheres. Where my spirit is welcomed, fear cannot dominate forever. Where the blood of Jesus is remembered with faith, hopelessness begins losing its grip. That does not mean life becomes instantly perfect, but it does mean you no longer walk through life abandoned, defenseless, and spiritually alone. You are covered by grace. You are sustained by mercy. And you are protected by power greater than anything standing against you. Do not allow darkness to convince you that peace is impossible. Peace is still available for your home. Peace is still available for your mind. Peace is still available for your relationships. And peace is still available for your future. But you must stop feeding fear more consistently than you feed your faith. Fill your life with prayer again. Fill your atmosphere with worship again. Fill your thoughts with truth again. Because what constantly enters your spirit eventually shapes your emotional condition. I want you to release bitterness today. Release resentment. Release the wounds you keep reopening in your mind every day. Unforgiveness keeps pain alive longer than necessary. But the blood of Jesus not only forgives sin, it also heals wounded hearts willing to surrender fully before me. You do not need to remain trapped by your past forever. You do not need to remain emotionally chained to old pain forever. Freedom is possible. Healing is possible. Restoration is possible. And peace is possible through the power of my presence. If these words are speaking to your heart right now, type, "The blood of Jesus covers my life," in the comments as an act of faith, and continue watching until the end, because the next message will help you overcome hidden fear, spiritual heaviness, and emotional exhaustion, so you can walk in greater peace, confidence, and freedom. If these words are strengthening your spirit today, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with someone who needs encouragement and peace right now. And if this ministry has been helping your heart grow stronger in faith, you can support this work through the link below, so more people around the world can continue receiving hope, healing, and spiritual encouragement through these messages. Remember this tonight: the blood of Jesus still protects. The blood of Jesus still restores. The blood of Jesus still delivers. And the blood of Jesus still speaks peace over every battle trying to rise against your life. There are times when the enemy attacks your peace so quietly that you do not even recognize what is happening at first. It begins with small fear, small discouragement, small heaviness, small emotional exhaustion. And slowly, if you are not careful, those small burdens begin growing inside your heart until peace feels distant and rest becomes difficult. But listen carefully to me now. The blood of Jesus was never meant to be remembered only during emergencies. The blood of Jesus is your daily reminder that darkness does not own you. Stay with me until the end, because what I am about to speak over your spirit will help you reclaim the peace fear has been trying to steal from your life. These words are not empty comfort. They are meant to strengthen your faith and help you stand firm spiritually, even when life feels overwhelming. I know some mornings have felt heavy lately. Before the day even begins, pressure already sits on your mind. Responsibilities already feel exhausting. Uncertainty already tries to disturb your peace. And sometimes you smile outwardly, while silently battling emotional weariness inside. But I want you to understand something today. You do not have to remain trapped under constant heaviness. The blood of Jesus still breaks chains. The blood of Jesus still restores peace. The blood of Jesus still carries authority greater than anxiety, fear, confusion, and spiritual oppression. There are thoughts you were never meant to agree with. Thoughts telling you nothing will improve. Thoughts telling you your future is hopeless. Thoughts telling you that peace is impossible for your life. But those thoughts do not come from me because I do not speak hopelessness over my children. I speak life. I speak restoration. I speak peace over hearts willing to trust me again. My child, stop expecting disaster every day. You have become so used to protecting yourself emotionally that you now prepare for pain before anything even happens. You expect rejection before conversations begin. You expect failure before opportunities arrive. You expect disappointment before blessings even have time to grow. But fear is slowly exhausting your spirit. You cannot live every day preparing for destruction while expecting peace to remain in your heart. Trust me again, even in uncertainty. Trust me, even in waiting seasons. Trust me, even when answers seem delayed. Trust me, because the blood of Jesus still covers the future you are worried about. I know there are wounds inside you created by disappointment. People hurt you. Situations changed unexpectedly. Doors closed suddenly, and certain prayers seemed unanswered for too long. But do not allow painful seasons to permanently shape your identity. Pain may have visited your life, but pain does not have permission to rule your future forever. There is still healing ahead of you. There is still peace ahead of you. There is still joy waiting to return naturally into your life again. You were not created to live emotionally imprisoned forever. That is why you must stop feeding negativity daily. What enters your mind repeatedly eventually shapes your spirit. If you constantly consume fear, anxiety grows. If you constantly replay bitterness, emotional heaviness deepens. If you continually surround yourself with hopelessness, discouragement becomes stronger. Guard your atmosphere carefully. Protect your peace carefully, because your inner condition affects your entire life more than you realize. The blood of Jesus was shed so you could walk in freedom, not constant emotional torment. Stop condemning yourself for things I already forgave. Stop reopening old shame every day. There are mistakes you still carry emotionally, even after mercy was already extended toward you. You keep reliving old failures while I keep calling you forward into healing. But guilt was never meant to become your permanent identity. You are not defined by your worst moment. You are not defined by your past mistakes. And you are not disqualified from peace because you struggled before. The blood of Jesus still cleanses completely. That means your past does not have authority to permanently destroy your future. I want you to begin resting your thoughts in my promises instead of fear. When anxiety rises, pray instead of panicking. When discouragement rises, worship instead of surrendering emotionally. When heaviness rises, remember that my presence is greater than the darkness trying to surround your thoughts. You are not spiritually abandoned. You are not emotionally forgotten. And you are not walking through life alone. Even now, while you are listening to these words, I am strengthening your spirit again. I am calming areas inside your heart that fear tried to disturb. I am rebuilding confidence where discouragement weakened you. And I am restoring peace in places where anxiety tried to settle permanently. Do not isolate yourself from my presence. Some people only seek me during crisis, while spending the rest of their time feeding fear, negativity, distraction, and emotional chaos. But peace grows through consistent relationship with me. Spend time in prayer daily. Speak honestly with me daily. Allow worship to enter your atmosphere daily, because what fills your environment eventually shapes your emotional condition. There are battles prayer can calm before they ever become larger. There are fears my presence can silence before they grow stronger. And there are wounds the blood of Jesus can heal before bitterness settles deeply into your heart. I know healing takes time. I know emotional restoration is sometimes slow, but do not become discouraged during the process. Growth often happens quietly before you fully recognize it. Peace often returns gradually before it becomes stable again. Continue trusting me. Continue walking with me. Continue believing that restoration is possible even when emotions fluctuate, because your feelings do not determine my faithfulness. My promises remain steady even during uncertain seasons. So breathe deeply again tonight. Release the tension. Release the fear. Release the emotional burden you keep carrying alone, and let my peace enter your heart again. If these words are speaking directly to your spirit right now, type "The blood of Jesus gives me peace" in the comments as an act of faith, and remain until the end of this journey, because the next message will help you break free from spiritual exhaustion, reclaim emotional strength, and walk forward with renewed confidence, wisdom, and peace through the power of the blood of Jesus. There are battles that begin in the mind long before they appear anywhere else. Fear enters quietly. Anxious thoughts begin repeating. Negative expectations slowly grow stronger. And before you realize it, peace begins slipping away little by little. But listen carefully to me now. The blood of Jesus was never meant to leave your mind imprisoned by fear. Stay with me until the end, because what I am about to speak over your spirit is meant to break agreement with anxiety, emotional torment, confusion, and hidden fear. These words are meant to help you reclaim the peace that belongs to you through my presence. I know how exhausting anxious thoughts can become. I know how tiring it feels when your mind refuses to rest. Some nights, your body is tired, but your thoughts continue racing. Some mornings fear reaches your heart before hope even has a chance to speak. And some days you carry invisible emotional battles that nobody around you fully understands. But I want you to remember something tonight. Fear is not your master. The blood of Jesus still carries authority over your mind. Many of your struggles have grown stronger because you kept entertaining fearful thoughts too long. You replay worst-case scenarios repeatedly. You prepare emotionally for disasters that have not even happened. You meditate on failure more than faith. And slowly, anxiety begins shaping your atmosphere. But today, I am calling you to break agreement with fear. Stop speaking destruction over your future. Stop expecting pain before peace has an opportunity to enter your life. Stop assuming every closed door means your life is ruined forever. I am still leading you, even when circumstances feel uncertain. My child, I know disappointment changed the way you think. Certain betrayals made you cautious. Certain painful seasons made you fearful. Certain unanswered prayers weakened your confidence. And now sometimes you expect loss before blessing, rejection before acceptance, and heartbreak before joy. But you cannot heal while constantly preparing for disaster. You cannot experience peace while continually feeding fear. The blood of Jesus still speaks calm over troubled thoughts. The blood of Jesus still silences the voice of condemnation. And the blood of Jesus still reminds darkness that your life belongs to me. I want you to begin protecting your thoughts intentionally. Not every thought deserves agreement. Not every fear deserves attention. And not every emotion deserves control over your decisions. Some thoughts must be rejected immediately because they were sent to steal your peace before breakthrough arrives. Fear weakens vision. Fear weakens faith. Fear causes people to surrender emotionally before victory even has a chance to appear. But I am teaching you how to stand firm spiritually. When anxiety rises, pray instead of panicking. When fear rises, worship instead of surrendering mentally. When discouragement rises, remember every previous season I already carried you through. You survived before, you healed before, you overcame before. And the same power that strengthened you then is still with you now. The blood of Jesus has not lost its authority. There are people around you who may not understand your emotional battles fully. They see your outward appearance, but they do not always recognize the pressure hidden inside your thoughts. They do not always see how hard you fight to remain peaceful while fear quietly attacks your confidence. But I see it all. I see the silent overthinking. I see the emotional exhaustion. I see the private tears, and I see how badly your heart desires rest. That is why I am asking you to stop carrying your fears alone. Bring them into my presence honestly. Stop pretending you are stronger than you feel. Stop hiding emotional wounds behind fake peace. I already know where you are hurting, and I still desire to restore you completely. The blood of Jesus still brings healing to anxious hearts. The blood of Jesus still brings freedom to tormented minds. The blood of Jesus still breaks spiritual heaviness, trying to settle over your life. I know some fears were planted through painful experiences. Fear after betrayal, fear after failure, fear after rejection, fear after loss. And because those moments hurt deeply, you now struggle to trust fully again. But pain from your past does not deserve authority over your future forever. There is still goodness ahead of you. There is still peace ahead of you. There are still beautiful moments waiting to enter your life again. Do not allow temporary emotional battles to convince you permanent joy is impossible. The enemy wants your thoughts exhausted, because exhausted minds become vulnerable to hopelessness. But hopelessness is not your destiny. I created you for peace. I created you for purpose. I created you to walk closely with me, not constantly collapse under fear. That is why you must spend time with me consistently. Fill your atmosphere with prayer. Fill your heart with worship. Fill your mind with truth stronger than fear, because what repeatedly enters your spirit eventually shapes your emotional condition. Some of your healing will begin when you change what constantly surrounds your mind. Peace cannot grow in environments continually feeding anxiety. Guard your inner life carefully. Protect your spirit carefully, because your emotional condition affects every area of your future. Even now, while you are listening to these words, I am calming your thoughts. I am loosening fear's grip over your heart. I am restoring emotional stability where anxiety tried to build strongholds. And I am reminding your spirit that you are not abandoned inside this battle. The blood of Jesus still covers your nights. The blood of Jesus still protects your future. The blood of Jesus still speaks peace over your home, your thoughts, your emotions, and your life. So tonight, release the pressure to control everything. Release the fear of tomorrow. Release the emotional exhaustion that came from overthinking every possible outcome. And let your mind rest again in my presence. Because where my peace enters, fear begins losing power. Where my spirit enters, confusion begins leaving. And where the blood of Jesus is remembered with faith, darkness cannot remain forever. If these words are reaching your heart tonight, type, "The blood of Jesus gives me peace over fear," in the comments as an act of faith. And remain until the end of this journey, because the next message will help you overcome spiritual attacks against your peace, strengthen your faith during difficult seasons, and walk forward with renewed courage, clarity, and emotional freedom through the power of the blood of Jesus. There are moments when spiritual attacks do not arrive through obvious darkness. Sometimes they arrive through weariness. Sometimes they arrive through confusion. Sometimes they arrive through discouragement that slowly drains your strength day after day. And before you realize it, your peace becomes weaker, your faith becomes quieter, and your heart becomes emotionally exhausted. But listen carefully to me now. The blood of Jesus still stands against every attack sent to steal your peace. Stay with me until the end, because what I am about to speak over your spirit is meant to strengthen you. In seasons where life feels emotionally heavy, spiritually draining, and mentally overwhelming. These words are meant to remind you that no darkness surrounding you is greater than the authority released through the blood of Jesus. I know there are battles you have been fighting silently, battles in your thoughts, battles in your emotions, battles against fear, hopelessness, anxiety, and exhaustion. And many times you tried to remain strong outwardly while inwardly feeling close to breaking. But I want you to remember something tonight. You are not abandoned in this battle. I have never walked away from you. Even during the nights when fear felt louder than faith, I remained beside you. Even during the moments when your heart felt spiritually weak, my presence continued surrounding you. And even when you struggled to pray, the blood of Jesus was still speaking mercy, protection, and grace over your life. The enemy wants you emotionally tired because tired hearts struggle to fight spiritually. When exhaustion grows, fear grows easier. When discouragement grows, hopelessness sounds believable. And when anxiety grows, peace begins feeling distant. But I did not create you to live under constant emotional oppression. The blood of Jesus still carries authority over spiritual heaviness. That means darkness does not own your mind. Fear does not own your future. And confusion does not have permission to permanently rule your life. My child, stop agreeing with the lie that nothing will ever improve. You have repeated certain fears so often that they now feel true to you. You expect disappointment before blessing arrives. You expect rejection before conversations even begin. You expect collapse before breakthrough has time to grow. But fear repeated long enough can begin sounding like truth, even when it is not. That is why you must guard your agreement carefully. Agreement gives strength to whatever voice you continually believe. If you constantly agree with hopelessness, hopelessness grows stronger. If you constantly agree with fear, anxiety grows stronger. But when you begin agreeing with my promises again, peace slowly begins returning to your spirit. The blood of Jesus still speaks victory over battles you cannot yet fully understand. There are attacks against your peace that are meant to distract you from purpose. There are moments when emotional heaviness tries to weaken your confidence before important seasons of growth arrive. And there are times when fear tries to stop you from stepping into the future I prepared for you. But darkness cannot cancel what I have spoken over your life. What I begin, I can complete. What I heal, I can restore fully. And what I protect, fear cannot permanently destroy. I know there are certain wounds you still carry quietly. Wounds from betrayal, wounds from rejection, wounds from disappointment and loss. And because those experiences affected you deeply, your heart now sometimes struggles to relax completely. Even during peaceful moments, anxiety still waits in the background. But I want to heal more than your circumstances. I want to heal the hidden fear living beneath your circumstances. Because many people pray for external change while ignoring the internal wounds controlling their peace. The blood of Jesus still heals hidden places inside the heart. That means emotional scars do not have to control your future forever. It means painful memories do not have to dominate your thoughts forever. And it means your life does not have to remain spiritually exhausted forever. There is still restoration ahead for you. There is still peace ahead for you. There is still freedom waiting beyond the heaviness you currently feel. Do not stop seeking me simply because the battle feels long. Some victories happen instantly. Other victories happen gradually while strength grows inside you little by little. But gradual healing is still healing. Gradual restoration is still restoration. Keep praying. Keep trusting. Keep standing firm even when emotions fluctuate. Because your feelings do not determine my faithfulness. I remain faithful even during seasons where your heart feels tired. The blood of Jesus still protects your home. The blood of Jesus still covers your family. The blood of Jesus still guards your mind against darkness, trying to steal peace from your life. That is why you must stop filling your atmosphere with fear constantly. Protect your spirit intentionally. Some environments weaken peace. Some conversations increase anxiety. And some habits quietly feed discouragement without you recognizing it immediately. Fill your life with worship again. Fill your atmosphere with prayer again. Fill your thoughts with truth stronger than fear again. Because spiritual strength grows where my presence is continually welcomed. I know there are nights when overthinking becomes exhausting. You replay conversations. You replay failures. You replay possibilities that may never even happen. And slowly your heart becomes emotionally drained from battles happening entirely inside your thoughts. But tonight, I am calling you into deeper trust. Trust me with the unknown. Trust me with tomorrow. Trust me with the situations you cannot currently control, because I am already standing inside the future you fear. And my authority reaches every place your mind keeps worrying about. Even now, while you are listening to these words, I am strengthening your spirit again. I am calming hidden anxiety. I am loosening discouragement from your thoughts. And I am reminding your heart that the blood of Jesus still carries enough power to silence darkness and restore peace completely. So breathe deeply again tonight. Release the heaviness. Release the pressure. Release the fear that has been quietly draining your strength. And let your soul rest again in my presence. Because where my spirit enters, peace begins returning. Where the blood of Jesus is welcomed with faith, fear begins losing authority. And where my presence remains, darkness cannot stay forever. If these words are strengthening your spirit tonight, type, "The blood of Jesus fights for me," in the comments as an act of faith, and remain until the end of this journey, because the final message will help you stand in lasting peace, walk in spiritual confidence, and fully surrender your future into my hands through the power of the blood of Jesus. There comes a moment when fear must finally lose its place inside your life, not because every battle suddenly disappears, not because every question immediately receives an answer, but because your spirit finally understands that the blood of Jesus is greater than every darkness trying to rise against you. Stay with me until the very end, because what I am about to speak over your heart is meant to seal peace deeply inside your spirit. These words are meant to help you walk forward without constantly living under fear, anxiety, heaviness, and emotional exhaustion. Tonight, I want you to remember who is truly holding your life together. It is not your own strength. It is not your own wisdom. It is not your own control. It is my hand sustaining you every single day. I know there were moments when you almost gave up completely, moments when the pressure became overwhelming, moments when your heart felt emotionally drained from carrying silent battles nobody else fully understood. But even then, I remained beside you. Even when your faith felt weak, the blood of Jesus was still speaking mercy over your life. You survived because my presence never left you. And I want you to stop forgetting that. The enemy of your peace wants you constantly focused on fear. Fear about tomorrow, fear about finances, fear about relationships, fear about health, fear about failure. Because fear-filled hearts struggle to rest in my promises. But tonight, I am reminding you that fear is not meant to govern your future. The blood of Jesus still carries final authority. That means darkness does not have the last word over your home. Darkness does not have the last word over your thoughts. Darkness does not have the last word over your future. And darkness does not have the last word over your peace. My child, stop carrying burdens. I already asked you to surrender. You keep replaying situations you cannot control. You keep exhausting yourself, trying to predict every possible outcome. You keep preparing emotionally for battles that may never even happen. But worry has never created peace. Anxiety has never created stability. Fear has never protected your spirit. Only my presence can give your soul true rest. The blood of Jesus still protects what concerns you. Even now, while you are listening to these words, I am working in places you cannot yet fully see. I am calming storms before they reach you. I am opening doors at the right time. I am protecting you from dangers you never even recognized. That is why you must trust me more deeply than before. Trust me when the path feels uncertain. Trust me when emotions fluctuate. Trust me when waiting becomes difficult, because my faithfulness is not controlled by your circumstances. I remain faithful through every season. I know there are hidden fears inside your heart. Fears created by painful memories. Fears created by disappointment. Fears created by seasons that emotionally wounded you deeply. And because of those experiences, your mind sometimes expects pain before peace has a chance to arrive. But I do not want your future shaped by old fear. I want your future shaped by faith. The blood of Jesus still breaks the power of hopelessness. That means your emotional exhaustion is not permanent. Your heaviness is not permanent. Your anxiety is not permanent. And your current battle is not the final chapter of your story. There is still restoration ahead. There is still peace ahead. There is still healing ahead. There is still joy waiting to return naturally into your life again. You are not too broken for me to restore. You are not too exhausted for me to strengthen. And you are not too far away from my mercy to reach you. Stop believing the lie that you must carry life alone. You were never created to survive separated from my presence. That is why your soul becomes weary whenever fear replaces trust. That is why anxiety grows stronger whenever prayer becomes neglected. And that is why emotional heaviness increases whenever your spirit becomes disconnected from my peace. Return to me daily. Speak with me daily. Allow worship to enter your atmosphere daily. Because where my presence remains welcomed, peace begins growing stronger again. The blood of Jesus still covers your nights. That means fear does not have permission to torment your rest forever. The blood of Jesus still covers your mornings. That means despair does not have permission to control your future forever. The blood of Jesus still covers your home. That means darkness cannot permanently remain where my presence is continually invited. I want you to release bitterness tonight. Release resentment. Release old wounds you keep reopening emotionally. Because unforgiveness quietly keeps pain alive inside the heart. But when surrender enters, healing begins breathing again. You cannot walk fully into peace while constantly holding tightly to past pain. Let it go, place it into my hands, and trust me to restore what fear tried to destroy. Even now, while you are hearing these words, peace is settling over areas of your life that felt unstable for too long. Strength is returning where discouragement weakened you. Clarity is replacing confusion. And hope is rising where heaviness once tried to live permanently. Because the blood of Jesus still carries power. Power to heal, power to restore, power to strengthen, power to protect, and power to remind darkness that your life belongs to me. So tonight, stop striving endlessly. Stop panicking endlessly. Stop carrying tomorrow's fears before tomorrow even arrives. Instead, rest your heart in my promises again, because I am still guiding you. I am still protecting you. I am still healing you. And I am still fighting battles you cannot even see. There will be difficult moments ahead sometimes, but you do not walk into those moments defenseless. My spirit goes before you, my peace surrounds you, and the blood of Jesus still stands as a covering over your life. So lift your head again, breathe deeply again, hope again, trust again. Because your future is not in the hands of fear. Your future is in my hands. If these words are speaking deeply to your spirit tonight, type "the blood of Jesus covers my future" in the comments as an act of faith. And remember this always before you leave. The blood of Jesus still protects. The blood of Jesus still restores. The blood of Jesus still fights for you. And where the blood of Jesus is welcomed with faith, darkness cannot remain forever.